Hey everyone, it's Ashley here from AscensionNXT.com. Check out my Facebook page, Ascension NXT. And today I'm doing a quick channeled message from the Arcturians. I've been connecting with them for the past couple of days and they've been giving me random messages. For those of you who don't know who the Arcturians are, they are an awesome race of ETs that are here to guide humans through the ascension process. They're as benevolent as the Palladians. They're very highly evolved. Their civilization completely connects with just spirituality and divine consciousness and how to better yourself and become more of a spiritual being, I guess you could say, from the research that I've done and with connecting with them. I even have them tattooed on my arm. If you could see my little, I don't know if you guys can see that. And I'm in my room right now and I wanted to use the background because it connects with their energy because of the blues. So I have a few statues here. This is Z. He's a little Arcturian. I painted a Z on his back. I got these from a woman in Arizona who makes alien statues. And I have tons of them. He's the first one that I got. So he's the coolest. No offense to everyone else here. I'm surrounded by 4 of them just in this room. I got an Elohim over there, but you can't see her right now. She was kind of just chilling out. But this is Z. And then I got Gary here. So he's just, I guess what you call a bust. And I call him Gary because I can't pronounce his real name. But basically what these statues do is they raise the vibration in your house because she opens a little channel for the energies to come through and connect with you. And you connect with the being, and sometimes a few different beings come through. But you don't need one of these statues to connect to the Arcturians. You can kind of do that on your own, but I definitely love having them here. And then I got another one here. This is Wiggy. We call him Wiggy. He's cool too. Alright, so, he's getting my bed all dirty. He had a little accident, so we had to paint him and stuff. Because they're I don't even know what they're made out of. Alright, so I got some notes here. I'm just going to go randomly with what I feel, and then I'll pull some cards connected with this. But basically, with the Arcturian energy is they're very helpful, they're very resourceful, and they love to work. And by work, I mean they love to get things done. They love to expand. They love to create. They're always on the go. They're always inventing. Their energy is very powerful, but at the same time gentle. Kind of a little bit connected with angelic energy, but definitely a lot different. So when I channel into angels, you can definitely tell that it's angels. I tell people angels energy feels light and feathery, and ET energy feels like bzzz around you. So that's my way of explaining it. I don't know. So with the Arcturians, they want to talk about wisdom. Okay, so this is an Ascension 101 thing. They're like, hey, why don't you just talk a little bit about this? So this is the stuff that I've been writing down. I'm going to go over bits and pieces of it, not all of it, because I think some of it is for me to analyze and go more in depth, and this won't be the first Arcturian video that I will be doing, because I love connecting. Obviously, you can see I have them tattooed on me. I have statues of them. It's a little bit of a weird obsession, but hey, this is what I'm here to do, so... Alright, so they're helpers for the planet. So they're here to help us through the ascension process. And from what I know with them is they went through the same BS that we went through on their planet. So they went through this whole ascension process, from what I know, as what we're going through now. So the DNA changes, the vibrational changes, and all of the duality. From what I've researched about them, and some people will argue about this, and there's really no facts with ETs as well. It's kind of what you feel connected to and what other people have experienced with them. As far as I know, no one's ever had any negative experiences with Arcturians. like unlike the Greys where people have had a lot of negative experiences, or the Reptilians where people have had some horrendous experiences, but we're not going to talk about them here. That's for another video. And if you want to hear me talk more about ETs, please comment below. I know a lot of people have been asking me. So after this video, I am working on the top 10 reasons why we need ET disclosure. So that video will be coming up soon. But Arcturian wisdom. So let's talk about the word wisdom and the vibration of wisdom as explained by my friends here. Oh, you can see him here, but you see? Oh yeah, there's Z. Alright, so I'm going to hang on to Gary like this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that. Okay. So, wisdom, by my friends, is pieces of the soul that connect with the whole. I love that. I could make a rap song out of that. Wisdom is pieces of the soul that connect with the whole. So, as you attain wisdom, and like, alright, so let me go over the difference between knowledge and wisdom here that they were giving me late one night at like 2 in the morning and I couldn't sleep. So like knowledge is like facts and information and skills acquired by like experience or education. And then wisdom, the quality of having experience or the knowledge or good judgment. So I actually think these are definitions that I found online, but what they were telling me the difference between knowledge and wisdom is knowledge is more factual based. It's something that you read in a book, right? Like this is knowledge right here. Like all of this is knowledge. But the person who wrote this complete book of astrology actually attained this wisdom through experiencing astrology, through channeling into the energy of astrology, through working with astrology, through practicing astrology. The same thing with this Freya Aswin person who wrote Northern Mystics and Magic. This is what the Arcturians are telling me. It's like this person, even when you read this book, it's a great book if you're into Norse mythology or connecting with runes, by the way. This person experienced a lot with the runes, and then she wrote about how the runes, how she feels the runes are historical and magical and things like that. That's wisdom. So the issue here with the wisdom thing that we're experiencing now is I think that a lot of people are getting knowledge and wisdom confused. So people are looking at things on the internet and being like, this is wisdom, this is enlightenment, this is truth, but they've never experienced it for themselves. And they're looking at sources that are very questionable, and you have to look at the intention behind who's spreading this knowledge and who's accepting this as their wisdom. And I think that's what the Arcturians are trying to come through and say is like, hey, look, you guys are in like the age of information and the age of knowledge right now. It's really stormy behind me, so you can probably hear the rain. Excuse me. And everyone just like believing everything that they hear without actually experiencing it or connecting with it intuitively. And that's another thing that wisdom is as well. It's not just looking at the facts logically. Wisdom is connecting with the intuitive side of things. Okay, and I think that that's something that we really need to start looking into is like, because you have a certain belief system and you label yourself as something, and this is another video that I really need to do is labels, because I'm just like, fuck the labeling, because the labeling is what's getting us all in a tizzy and divide and conquer and all this fucking BS that's on this planet right now is we just keep labeling ourselves as things and putting ourselves in these little containers, and then when this information comes out you're like, oh well, this fits in my container, so I'm gonna hold this as my wisdom and I'm going to go and work with this within my life. And then things don't really work out within your life when you kind of hold on to that vibration because it's not truly with your higher self connects with. So I think that's what the Arcturians are trying to say here is like, hey, let's go a little bit deeper into this process instead of just accepting the things that you want to believe as your truth. So they also brought up the fact that as you vibrate at a higher rate, your memories become activated. So this is another issue here because you have this like knowledge, and I'm like looking around. let's just say that this is like not so good knowledge. All right, let's use this as an example. You have this knowledge coming in that you want to accept as your facts and your truth, right? But then your soul begins to expand. So right here, this is like a piece of your soul, and it's like coming in, and it's like, I'm ascending, I'm connecting, and then it hits this knowledge that, you know, you want to accept because it's more logical, and then it just keeps like headbutting with it. And then this is where blockages come in, because then it just creates more issues. Your energy isn't flowing. You're not accepting this piece of yourself because it doesn't fit with this. So then this just begins to fall to the side, or it will, like I said, this is what is actually coming in channeling. This is making more sense than what I wrote down. It's creating energetic blockages because you're not allowing this piece to come in because you want to accept this, because when this piece comes in, guess what? This gets thrown out. Now you have to start over. You're going to start finding new sources of information, and it's going to be more work. So this is another thing that the Arcturians were telling me about. A lot of the New Age movement is like, you don't have to do any work. It's just going to come to you. It's just going to be there, and blah, 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 blah. And parts of that is really true. Like if you allow yourself to open up and let go of control, things will just come. It's not going to be as hard. You're not going to have to fight for it. Is that thing still? Okay, I'm just making sure that's recording. I can't see because the camera is further away. So, fuck, what was I saying? Oh, so, yeah, so then, yeah, so people just expect things to come, and they don't want to put the work in. And that's a sense of entitlement. Like, this is not what wisdom is. Wisdom does not come through entitlement. Wisdom comes through work and putting the work within yourself and your life and your soul and everything that you need to move towards. It's like the old paradigm of work is fading away when you're working for nothing and you feel like an effing slave. That's the old paradigm of work that we're like, we don't need that anymore. Like, we shouldn't be a slave to the system. We shouldn't be a slave to our government. We shouldn't be a slave to our parents. We shouldn't be a slave to any religion. The Arcturians, they're like, no, that's gotta go. That's what's correct about the New Age movement. But then there's also parts of the New Age movement where they're like, it's just gonna happen. And it's like, no, it's not. You have to go out and experience and work with this knowledge and put work into it. I mean, I own a business right now. I own a holistic shop and a store, and it's a lot of fucking work. But to me, it's worth it because it's giving me a sense of fulfillment and it's putting me on my path and where I want to go. But there's also a lot of things that I, you know, have to do, because if I don't do that, then I can't have the other pieces of it. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to actually put some work into it. So one of the messages that they said is, work is not for the weak, lazy, or entitled. Wisdom is for the people that actually want to move towards that, and they don't get offended by everything, and they want to accept all the pieces of the knowledge, and they want to learn more information, and they want to excel. It's about excelling. So it's work, it's working to excel and to experience fulfillment. It's not working for nothing and dying and feeling like you're an effing slave your whole life. So that's the differences that's happening here. Then we go, they talked to me about the growth process, and I started looking up like the stages of a seed growing. So, you know, the first, and you can Google this online. So it's like, you know, you're planting the seed. So that's like when your thoughts begin to create ideas, and then you're putting the ideas into actions, into small steps. Okay. So we're not jumping from A to Z here. We're not trying to attain something by like the Archangel Michael bus coming, bringing you everything that you want, because that's not what happens. You have to go and actually put action into the things that you want. And then the vegetative stage starts. As you can tell, I don't have a green thumb. Starting to see growth. Ideas becoming stronger. Then you begin to gain more confidence, and you're like, This is beginning to work. You're actually starting to see things in the physical reality. Then you have the budding stage. Is they explain that as others begin to notice your ideas, others begin to become drawn to you due to your confidence, and then you gain confidence within others. And then you have the flowering stage where the ideas begin to make a difference. Changes begin to happen along your path. Wisdom begins to flourish. And I can't read my handwriting because it's so bad. And then you begin to create more ideas. So as the flowering stage happens, it explains is that just more begins to grow. And then the ripening stage is when the ideas, so this is kind of when the seeds begin to fall back in the ground because the main flower is dying. You have hundreds of other seeds that are beginning to plant, and that ripening stage, so that stage of death, actually brings in more birth. So all that work that you put in, and that's the other thing too, is like you attain all this information and knowledge, and a lot of people are like, now I have to start over because these two don't make sense, but this is the one that I feel more connected with, so I have to let this one grow. But this is actually the ripening stage when those seeds begin to fall on the ground, and then more pieces of yourself begin to come up, and then that is actually experiencing the wisdom. That is all of the work that you put in, and the feelings of success, wanting to have that confidence. I mean, part of working is building your confidence and seeing, you know, what you've accomplished. Accomplishment is huge with our processes as humans, and I feel like even on other planets as well, they want to feel feelings of accomplishment and inventions and, you know, whatever else they do on other planets. I don't know, I'm not there now, but I'm sure that, you know, they don't just sit around all day and do nothing and expect things to happen. And that's not what wisdom is. Wisdom is for people that want to put the work in, but work is fulfillment. Work is not slavery. So these are the differences. So with that, they just go on to choose your path wisely, don't take things for granted, don't take information for granted. So I think that's another thing, is that we kind of just throw things away that we don't want to connect with. Because, like, you know, it doesn't feel right, but it's almost like that knowledge and information or the wisdom is being abused, because it's like, oh no, it doesn't fit with me, so I don't want it. And that's not how it works. You have to accept things sometimes, even though it might not be what you want it to be. All right. So they're talking about enlightenment here, but I'm feeling like I gotta do another video on that. I'm gonna separate that into another video, because the age of enlightenment has a lot to do with from what I experienced or what I researched with that, the age of enlightenment has to do with a lot of the Palladian energy coming in, and I think the Arcturian as well, even though the Arcturians didn't really start making an appearance here until like the last 50 years, like a known appearance. They could have been here longer. All right, so what I'm going to do is let's pull some cards for wisdom. Let's see, it's Gary. Gary's here. I'm going to pull a few cards. So I guess I'm going to have a part 2 of this video, maybe. Maybe I won't call it part 2. It'll just be like an Arcturian Enlightenment, Ascension 101. This one's Arcturian Wisdom. Okay. Wisdom. Oh, wow. Alright, let me pull 2 more, because I have to get up to the camera to show you the cards. Okay. This, like, definitely confirms everything that I was just talking about. Alright, so the first card that I pulled is the Page of Ariel, which to me is focusing in. Come on, focus. I don't know if it's focusing. Alright, I don't know if you can see that. I don't think it's focusing because the camera is... Okay, so the page of Ariel, if you can't see that, it's a girl that is in school and she's all excited about school and she has a bunch of books around her. And then here's the other card. It says New Beginnings on it. And I'll post these at the end if you can't see them. I don't think you can. I don't think the camera's focusing right now because I have it. So, my camera's far away from me. I'm not that technologically advanced yet. Alright, so the first card is the Page of Ariel, and it's all about education. So it's all about never stop learning. Okay, so that's pretty much what they were saying with the whole seedling process, is that it never stops. There's always going to be more and more and more. And then this is the New Beginnings card. So there's always new beginnings. There's always endings and beginnings with your process of learning wisdom. Don't allow yourself to get frustrated through the ascension process, feeling like you're always starting over again. It's just, you're actually compiling, it's almost like libraries within your soul is what I just heard. Libraries within your soul. And just because you feel like you're starting over doesn't mean you necessarily are. It just means you're going on a new path and you're building your foundation. So you're building your foundation within yourself. And that's really what wisdom is about. It's about attaining the growth, utilizing the lessons, and working what you need to work with in order to help yourself excel. So if you feel like you're starting over now, don't get so frustrated. And sometimes with things in life, I think with us in our society, or what we've been taught on this planet, is that, you know, you start building your foundation when you're young, and then it begins to grow and grow and grow. And then when you get older, you have everything that you want. And it's like, and all based on material. And that's not what the new paradigm is about. It's like sometimes you gotta get rid of you have to get rid of the old in order to allow the new in. But to this, it's saying on a deeper level, it's about attaining wisdom is what a lot of people's souls are. That's the fulfillment that we're feeling for this process. It's the growth within our DNA. It's about us becoming light beings. It's upping our light codes and allowing those new light codes to come in. So I hope that you connected with this video. I think there's definitely going to be a part 2 to this. I'm going to talk about the Age of Enlightenment and what that has to do with the ETs, but I don't think that'll only be with the Arcturians. So I'm going to do a little bit more research on that, and that will be up soon. And then another video I'm going to do is the top 10 reasons why we need ET disclosure. And there'll be more videos. Also, too, I got online courses starting. I have a $10 manifesting course this April. It's this Friday. It's the, hang on, let me look at my phone. The 20th, and that'll be for sale on my website. It's just $10 and you get a worksheet with it. So ascensionnxt.com is where you can find me. Also, we're gonna have our web store up on the 19th. We have crystals, hand-poured candles, spell kits, books, cards, all of that stuff. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you all have a wonderful day. And remember, wisdom is work, but the work is fulfillment. So, blessed be.